Welcome to the Muslim blog. Today we'll talk about a serious topic. When we talk about nearly any topic, though, it has to do with whether people of God care about topics that perverse individuals talk about. When a person is a person of God and sound morals, there's literally no issue, exactly. When there's a perverse person, they talk about topics in terms of anything, but no one cares about that, exactly. When a person is a person of God, though, they have their own relationship with God. Christianity is the one God religion, exactly. Christianity is a true religion. Same one God religion, exactly. Same one God religion of Moses. Same one God religion of Muhammad, exactly. In that sense, though, a person of sound morals has no issue, exactly. The issue is whether they're a perverse person, exactly. In that sense, though, Christianity is the one God religion, exactly. Christianity believes in Jesus' immaculate conception. Christianity believes that Jesus healed people. Christianity believes in the virgin birth. That is, they believe in the Virgin Mary. All of this is literally true. When a person is in any kind of context, it's the same religion of Muhammad, exactly. It's the one God religion. When a person is talking about nearly any topic as if people of sound morals and faith don't know these things. When persons are talking about nearly any topic, though, it has to do with anyone cares about these things. It's whether a perverse person guides the discussion. When we're in any kind of topic, that's all it is. It's really why should a perverse person guide anything, but it's whether a perverse person guides a discussion. In that sense, though, when we talk about nearly any topic, Christianity is a true religion. When we look at it from any particular quantum, the one God religion is the true religion, exactly. In that sense, though, it's not as if people of sound morals did not know this, though. When anyone is in any kind of context, it has their obvious things. First thing a Muslim says is Christ is true, exactly. That's because of the perverse person, though, exactly. Everyone knows these things. When a person is in a particular context, though, it has to do with everyone doesn't know. No, it's whether a perverse person guides the discussion. First thing a Muslim says is Christ is true. Let me tell you what a perverse person says. Christ didn't exist. It makes sense to them, though. When someone is perverse, they're totally out of touch with reality. When they say someone who believes in the one God is out of touch, we talked about that. When a person is in any kind of context, though, the issue is whether or not someone understands, though, that the best proof of Christ is Muhammad, exactly. Muhammad's entire life was documented, exactly. His dying prophetic knowledge was that Christ is true. God sent the Quran down to Muhammad, exactly. When we look at the best evidence of anything, it has to do with that. Persons believer know that. Persons who are believers know that. When they're in any kind of context, they don't have to talk to any perverse people, exactly. Let alone having a perverse person guide the discussion, though. When a person is in a particular context, though, Muhammad's entire life was documented. God sent the Quran down to Muhammad. What's in the Quran? Exactly. In that sense, the best evidence for Christ is Muhammad. Muhammad testifies to the truth of Christ, exactly. How can someone who believes in Christ be wrong then? Makes no sense. Not only are they right, exactly. In that sense, though, it has to do with whether we care about perverse people and their perverse discussions. In that sense, though, when a person believes in Christ, it is the true religion, exactly. We're talking about the one God religion, exactly. In that sense, though, if the person is talking about nearly any topic like we don't know this, okay? The person who's an utter buffoon, exactly, the one who's totally out of touch with reality, is the one who's in this day and age saying any topic other than the topical discussion. In that sense, though, when a person is in any kind of context, it has to do with obvious facts like that. When we talked about nearly any topic, though, it has to do with any of these topics are new. They're new to someone who's completely, exactly. When a person is in a particular context, though, it has to do with whether or not we care about anyone's subject. When someone who's a buffoon is deriding, exactly. But it has to do with whether we care about that, though. It makes sense. When we knew the earth was round, exactly. It has to do with that same topic. When a person of any morals is doing anything, it has to do with whether we care about that. But what did they ever contribute to humanity? Things happen in spite of them, exactly. When we talk about nearly anything in particular, though, it has to do with whether we care about that, though. Where did they produce any knowledge, exactly? Where did it produce any law exactly? In that sense, though, when we look at the law exactly, based in the ecclesiastical courts, exactly, or however you want to call that word, whatever, based in God's exactly. When they do talk about a topic like we don't know the origins of everything that makes sense. In that sense, though, when they do talk about the law, they talk about it as if it's divorced from the reality. Where does law come from? God, exactly. What do they contribute? Madness, exactly. Things that don't make any sense. When we look at any sound principle, it's based on God's law, exactly. That is what law is, exactly. The individual perverts the law, no. It's whether or not persons can just understand, though, when you have a perverse person in the room who cares about its topics. The proof is in the pudding, exactly. When anything makes sense, it's based on God's law. When persons are talking gibberish, it is that. When we talk about babbling as if it's new. When a person babbles, exactly. What's the gist of its babble? God's law, exactly. If it makes sense. When a person is doing anything in particular, if a principle makes any sense, it's based on God's law. In that sense, though, the issue is whether we care about a babbler, though. When persons are babbling, who cares about its topics? When we look at the gist of it, so you're saying murder is any number of topics. That is not a given, though, exactly. When you look at these babblers' history, though, they talk about buffoonery that no one cares about, though. It is not straightforward to them, exactly. When a person is in any kind of context, though, the principle that murder is against everyone, exactly. But why let them guide the discussion, exactly? When we look at the historical record, it's plain there. If the person tells me that any babbler contributed anything to humanity, things happen in spite of them. But I don't have to say that, the proof is in the obvious pudding. When they talk any number of gibberish, the gist of what they're saying, if it makes sense, is God's principle, exactly. When a person is in any kind of topic, though, it has to do with whether we care about that, though. Why is adultery wrong, exactly? My boyfriend or girlfriend wronged me. Does that come from them, exactly? If it's their law, who cares, exactly? But what we say is that when persons are talking from their own desire, it has to do with basic things like that. If someone cheated on someone, we all know what the person feels exactly, whether they say it or not. We tell them too bad, exactly. When a person is a person of God, exactly. Part of the issue is that, though, when a person is in a particular context, the principle comes from God. The reason why we are outraged or have righteous indignation is because of that principle. In that sense, though, it's that basic. When a person says, be angry that my whatever broke up, no, exactly. In that sense, though, if we do have the righteous indignation, if we do have the righteous topic, it's because of God's principle, exactly. In that sense, we know they haven't contributed anything to humanity, though. But it's whether or not we let them keep poaching the topic. It's whether we service them, exactly. Part of the nature of a good godly person is that, though. It is not in our nature to do perverse things, exactly. When we talk about the discussion, though, it has to do with the righteous people beefing up a little. When a person is in a discourse, though, the righteous person has no problem conceding even. I don't think persons should do that, exactly. When a person is, exactly, at this point, it really is about that. It's about their perverse conduct, exactly. But the issue is going to unfold in the blog, exactly. When a person is in a particular context, the righteous person need not service them anymore. If the person is speaking the word, exactly. When we get to any particular topic, though, it's as if a person can't defend themselves from a babbler. When we talk about any number of topics, it is that. When a person understands, though, that the concession happens very early, exactly. When persons cease conceding, though, it has to do with being fed up with perversion, exactly. It's not about attacking anyone, they are the ones who are on the attack, and it's a very perverse attack, exactly. So in that sense, though, it has to do with us ceasing concessions to perversion. In that sense, it's about that. But anyway, it doesn't change who we are, exactly. Part of a righteous person is concerned about that, but they need not be concerned about it, exactly. In that sense, though, it has to do with us ceasing that topic. If they talk about it, we don't have to concede any topic to perverse people. The issue is their perversion. In that sense, though, who cares about what they say then? If a person's babbling, they're babbling, exactly. Need not change who we are, exactly. Righteous person, exactly. Concerned about that. In that sense, let's have a latte, exactly, why not? Part of what I'm trying to tell people is that. Have a good one.